my card is about 800 ringgit per year, which I boleh dapat waiver because I have to spend 80,000 ringgit per year for that card, which I spend a bit more sebab kita pakai untuk company punya expenses. Tapi kalau tak lepas benda ni, berbaloi ke? Ataupun boleh minta waiver juga walaupun tak lepas di minimum spending requirements?
Bila you tak meet minimum spend requirement, obviously you have to call in. Lepas tu bila you have to call in, sebenarnya nasib you dah ditentukan oleh bank tu dah. Whether they want to maybe luluskan waiver tu atau tak. Because it's totally on the bank dah. Because they don't have to. You have to understand that. Because you don't meet the requirement. So this is like calling a favor. You call bank, hello, I tak nak bayar ni, you rasa je boleh waive tak? So it's already, you dah macam at the mercy of the bank's hands. Whether dia nak waive you atau tak. So since it's not something yang confirm, then you as a user, masa you apply tu, macam you sendiri cakap kan, you guna untuk company punya expenses. So you dah, sebenarnya you dah clear dah direction tu. You tahu you boleh meet sebab you nak guna untuk bayar company semuanya expenses. So samalah macam user yang biasa, walaupun maybe dia tak ada company. So masa dia pilih credit card tu, dia kena fikir siang-siang, apa average amount yang I memang spend annually. So kalau dia tahu, contoh dia nak card yang gah-gah, yang maybe yang level infinite, berkilat-kilat bagai tu, tapi annual fee RM1,000. Tapi tak nak bayar. Lepas tu syarat untuk waiver dia tinggi, maybe kena spend RM100,000 setahun. Lepas tu dia sedar dia tak mampu nak belanja RM100,000 setahun, dan kenapa ambil kad tu? Dia jadi macam menyusahkan diri sendiri lah. So kalau siang-siang kita dah tahu kita tak nak bayar, then we have to ask ourselves, boleh tak I meet requirement ni? Kita jangan kira perjudikan nasib kita lah. So kalau betul nak free, kena make sure yang you memang boleh meet requirement tu. Tapi macam I cakap, baca TNC, you have to get to know of your own cards. Sebab syarat annual fee waiver ni tak sama untuk semua card. The more exclusive ones obviously akan ada tighter punya condition. Tapi kad-kad yang biasa mesti macam first 1 year or 2 years free. Subsequent maknanya tahun seterusnya maybe dia minta swipe 12 kali setahun. Ataupun ada satu kad tu yang macam terus je minta kalau nak free kena swipe 24 kali setahun, which is like 2 kali sebulan je. 2 kali tu senang kan.
Well, macam ada orang ajar, dia kata pergi Sesemiak isi RM5.
Apa boleh,
isi lagi RM5. Dah 2 kali lah.
Tak, jadi macam benda tu sebenarnya kita pandai-pandai hidup lah kan.
But Azna, untuk waiver ni, do you apply for the waiver before or after the annual fee tu dah di charge?
You apply after.
So macam you cakap lah, is a macam gamble lah, macam kalau dia kata tak boleh, then you just have to pay lah. Can you, sempat lagi tak nak cancel? Dah tak sempat.
There is no cancel.
I mean, can I cancel the card? Like,
you cancel the card,
the charge is still there.
Yeah.
And ini bukannya the credit the government tax per card? Yang itu per card
yang mana? SST ke yang
RM20?
Yes, SST is
kalau kalau ada 2
bayarlah RM50.
So Azna ada 20 tadi, 19 that's roughly RM500 lah, ataupun RM470
yes.
setahun.
Yeah, some people will ask me lah, habis tu SST bayar lah.
I see. So 19 cards ni boleh keep track of all the requirements untuk waiver semua. Azna boleh follow lah.
To be honest, I don't really care. Bayar je. Yeah.
Including the pay annual fees lah. I see.
I wouldn't say semua kad I yang jenis free. Tapi I jenis yang manage things up front. Maknanya kalau I rasa tak mampu ataupun I nak berkira tak nak bayar, I just tak apply at the very beginning. I tak apply, lepas tu I macam pening-pening sendiri pasal kad tu. Maknanya upon I apply, maknanya I've decided.
Okay. Now, let's get back to the berhutang. Maybe ada orang kata, bila ada kad kredit ni, daripada dia tak ada duit, tiba-tiba jadi duit. Macam kalau ada e-wallet, you have to have money inside your wallet ataupun your bank account. Maybank ke ataupun Touch 'n Go wallet ke. Tapi kalau credit card ni, daripada tak ada duit, tiba-tiba ada credit limit of RM5,000.
Seronok lah. Mesti dia overspend.
Yes. Is that one valid reason for people not to ambil credit card? Ataupun they just have to face it? That hutang ni is going to happen anyways, one way or another. Credit card punya hutang tu belum berhutang lagi, cuma you ada credit limit, jangan pakai lah. What is your opinion about orang yang susah sikit nak kawal dia punya kewangan ni?
I sebenarnya kalau ikut I lah, I'm not really the type yang suka ikut perut ataupun tahan diri. Orang kata tahan nafsu berbelanja, jangan beli tu, jangan beli ni. Sebab to me, there are certain things yang goes beyond money. Kadang-kadang you nak buat, maybe lah mak ayah you happy, masa tu maybe your mom wasn't really well, and then you ingat nak bawa dia makan or shopping sikit lah, contoh lah kan. So masa tu you tak ada duit, so you swipe dulu. So to me lah, sometimes it's not really just about money. Okay, I pun nak kena fikir mental well-being I, family I, whether there are certain things yang I nak achieve in life. I nak kasih mak ayah I happy masa dia masih hidup, contoh. So kita as a credit card user, kita jangan ingat kita ni cara nak pakai credit card is dua benda, disiplin dengan tahan nafsu. No, the biggest challenge is bukan dua tu sebenarnya. The biggest challenge is nombor 3, which is diorang sebenarnya kena equip themselves dengan knowledge. Knowledge yang I mention ni is macam balance transfer, 0% EPP, IPPs, FPP. Okay, ada jargon sikit kat sini. Tapi korang dengar je dulu sebab nanti boleh ambil jargon dan Google je. Boleh study sendiri. Balance conversion, quick cash. Kenapa benda ni penting? Sebab dia boleh tolong alter you punya repayment pattern nanti. So maknanya in the event, contoh macam I bagi tadi, you punya mak maybe tak sihat sangat. You nak kasih dia happy that particular week, example, sebab your mom came to visit. Example. So you belanja dia, bawa dia pusing-pusing. Okay, lari bajet RM2,000 sebab your mom came over and then you just want to make her happy. Okay. So apa kita nak buat dengan RM2,000 ni?
That
kalau
hutang,
yes, that hutang yang orang takut sangat tu. So kalau you tak ada that knowledge, okay, you nak buat apa dengan RM2,000 ni? Mesti orang yang typical, dia dah kelang kabut dah. Aku dah ada RM2,000 ni, macam mana nak bayar? Dia dah pening kepala dah. Masa tu lah dia akan spiraling, bayar minimum lah. Dia dah buat benda merepek tu kan, kejap bayar, kejap tak bayar, lambat bayar, siapa. So kalau orang yang ada knowledge upfront, contoh dia dah tahu mak dia nak yang terbelanja lebih dalam RM2,000 tu, example lah, one of it is mak dia nak beli di skincare product, example lah, skincare product tu je RM1,500. So bila dia purchase that RM1,500, at the back of their mind, dia dah tahu dah macam mana aku nak bayar RM1,500 ni. I nak beli kat kedai yang lepas tu I boleh convert jadi FPP ke IPP atau installment payment plan lah, senang cerita. I nak bayar dengan cara IPP ke, ataupun I swipe kad A, tapi masa nak bayar kad A ni yang RM1,500 ni, dia guna credit card lain untuk buat balance transfer bayar credit card ni, sebab you tahu you ada credit card yang balance transfer dia murah. So you ada strategi lah. Maknanya masa you nak berbelanja tu, upfront you dah tahu macam mana nak bayar. So sebenarnya it's not just about being disciplined ataupun tahan nafsu. You can use a credit card without tahan nafsu sekalipun, provided that you know what you're doing. So that's why to me it's very important to have that knowledge. Sebab this is the biggest portion yang banyak orang tak faham. Dia tak tahu facility yang balance transfer, balance conversion, IPP, EPP. Benda ni dah memang built in dalam kad tu. So bila orang tercedok, ini orang-orang biasa lah, bayar minimum, buat personal loan. Ataupun dia biarlah menimbun hutang, dah 2-3 kad dah tak mampu, lepas tu dia personal loan. Padahal benda tu patutnya untuk orang yang dah ada knowledge lah. Dia dah upfront manage dah benda tu. So it shouldn't snowball to become a big problem in the first place.
May I ask, is that part of the reason why Aznaz ni ada up to 19 credit cards, so that you can strategize between them?
Itu satu, tapi you have to understand juga it's because of my career.
Your career. You need to research the
research satu. Kalau macam contoh, I bagi you guys contoh je lah. Bila I dalam usage team, kalau I tak ada banyak card from different banks, I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So cara paling mudah untuk I snoop around and
just
tengok,
to become their customer.
Yes. So that's one thing. But kalau as a product manager pula, you mesti ada system testing. Sometimes you have to, apa benda lah yang melibatkan kerja you have to do A to do B. Lepas tu, in order for you to test, you have to have that card first.
Right.
So when there's a lot of testing involved, obviously I kena apply that card. So there are reasons why other than just my personal punya reasons why I have a lot of cards. I think disebabkan my career juga yang menyebabkan kad I banyak.
May I ask tak, what is your total credit limit of all these 19 cards?
Tak pernah kira sebenarnya. Tapi I tahu dah ratus-ratus lah.
Ratus juga lah kalau satu kad dah 10. Kalau 19 that's about 190,000.
Itu kalau 10 memang tak 10 lah. Obviously bukan 10
Each
kan.
card might be like 30,000, 40,000.
Lebih lagi dari tu. So,
More than that,
so you kali lah